Bhavin, thank you for joining me. Let's start. For those few people who don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Seb. So my name is Bav, qualified in '99. I've been very, very lucky to have owned 3 practices before. My claim to fame, Seb, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was the first dentist on live TV to extract teeth with no anesthetic, just hypnosis.
No, I did not know that. No.
Yeah, as in, at that time, I didn't understand what I was doing and why I was doing it. But it was probably the starting point where I realized I don't think and act like a normal dentist, and I love to think outside the box. And many people have said I've had one of the hardest journeys in dentistry, from fraud, bankruptcy, ID theft, anything you can think of, I've actually gone through. And that culminated in not being able to deal with a couple of things, injuring my hand, and at a point where I was thinking, shall I move into my mum and dad's house or just keep going? And this hand won't allow me to give injections, do any Botox or anything.
Right.
So I was now working 2 days a week trying to figure out, do I leave dentistry? And the honest truth is, I was setting myself up to be a maths tutor, because I'm really good at teaching 6-year-olds mental maths. But like my son, who's 14, when he shows me his math stuff, I haven't got a clue what's going on there. And it was my daughter who told me, you never tell us to give us you tell us never to give up on our dreams, so why are you giving up? So I had to find a way to do stress-free, risk-free, physical-free, that's even a thing. So how can I do dentistry without actually doing dentistry? Hence why I stumbled into the Aligner Invisalign game.
Right.
And last year I achieved what people call the Roger Bannister moment, if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
So I'm now described as the ultimate super associate. So I work in a mixed dental practice in East London. I don't have a dental Instagram profile, so I'm probably like 90% of the people out there, and yet they call me a super associate because of the volume of work that we get through. And that's why they call it the Roger Bannister moment, because up until Roger Bannister did the mile in under 4 minutes, everyone thought it was humanly impossible. And the minute he achieved something that people thought was impossible, thousands of people have done it since. And they realized there was just an emotional blockage that prevented people achieving that.
So, Bav, now you just provide Invisalign treatments, do you? Is that solely what you do?
Yeah, but I don't actually do anything because I'm really lazy. So I as an associate work out of 3 rooms, and I have a team of people around me that do all the hard work.
As an associate?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So that's what they mean by a super associate, right? As an associate, you can do anything, because if you think about it, if your principal is 50 years old and has no idea about how to grow the business with social media, you could be the engine that drives that business forward. And if you can monetize that, systemize that, industrialize it, you almost become bigger than the asset. So if you think of me as a platform, I'm like Uber or Airbnb. It doesn't matter where I go, I'm going to generate the business money.
Yeah.
And a lot of associates are now realizing that opportunity, and as a result, some of them are either getting a percentage of the additional profits that they generate, some are getting 60-65%, because what practice owners now realize is dentistry is properly a business now, and anyone who is value added and adds to the bottom line is worth more money.
Okay, that absolutely makes sense. But I assume you need the principal to be on board. You need the practice to be on board to do that, to carry that out.
Yeah. So in other words, on my journey, at one point, I was working at 21 practices.
Wow.
Doing Invisalign, right? Because I realized this is a Tinder world. I'm going to have to keep swiping until I find someone worth sticking with. So the challenge was, I'm going to have to work at a lot of practices to figure out who is the growth-minded principal who's looking for an associate-led practice and is ambitious to grow. So if you have a principal that has a closed mindset, it's never going to work.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it was just a case of, I need to keep swiping, as an analogy, until I find the one that's the right mix. Okay,
and so assume you found that now. You've got the right mix.
Don't tell him that, otherwise.
Okay, yeah. So I completely understand the concept, and you've really explained that well. So, what is Aligner Alchemy, and what do you offer at Aligner Alchemy?
So, I'm approaching my 50th birthday, believe it or not. And, as I think about turning 50, I've realized that with modern medicine and science, I'm going to live to 120 years old. That makes sense. So, as a dentist, the first thing I thought is, at what age do I wish to retire? And I thought probably 90. Because my dad retired at 60. I can't imagine spending 60 years at home with the wife. So if I intend to retire at 90 and I don't intend to buy a practice because that's not what I'm good at, it was, what do I want to achieve in the next 40 years, which is a long time, right? And then we come with this idea of Aligner Alchemy because there are three things that we're trying to achieve. The first thing is, in dentistry, we all accept that there are high levels of emotional health problems. And for over 30 years, we've been speaking about depression, drink, drugs, divorce. And we all think that, one day the GDC or the CQC or the BDA will come to our help and do something. It's not happening. Some people thought perhaps the universities would change their teaching, right?
Yeah.
So right now, in the context of the world as it is today, Martin Lewis doesn't understand why kids don't know what money and finance and APRs are.
Right.
It's really weird in that context, right?
Yeah.
So it's really weird that dentists are not taught about soft skills.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the soft skills that have all the problems, that create all the problems. So our first thing is, we talk about integrating your hands, your head and your heart. So if you think of a dentist from university, all they've done is focus on their hands, but no one's thought about how to integrate the head and the heart. The head means that you're business savvy, you understand the game that you're playing, you have a strategy and tactics on how to open that game, and you know the different nuances and formats. So it's like playing football. If you're playing football in Europe, you can't play the same as the Premier League.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And yet, we don't get taught how to talk to different personality types who express themselves with different modes of communication. It's bizarre, right?
Yeah.
And, all dentist challenges relate to feeling hurt in their heart, because emotionally we've not been taught these soft skills of grit, tenacity, resilience, and we don't understand how to empathetically listen, respond, and communicate. If you were to ask Dental Law Partnership or DDS or whoever you want, why, if you ask them, could you almost describe the dentists that always get into trouble? It'd always be those who cannot communicate and empathize and listen properly. And it's like, well, why aren't we learning these skills? Like, just imagine how much grief the average dentist would save themselves if university just taught them this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we realize there's just not an appetite from vested interests and parties to want to deal with the problem. So we said, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to help people to integrate their head, hearts, and hands so dentists are happier. Okay. The second thing that we're trying to do is to say that as dentists, we've done an incredibly good job at prevention. So gum disease is down, cavities are down, And the next territory is accelerated or premature aging of teeth.
Right.
And this relates to the way your teeth come together and work as a machine. So one of our goals is to say, in 40 years, although this sounds a bit blasé, we want to destroy the full mouth reconstruction business.
Okay.
We personally think it's criminal that people are having all their teeth crowned for circa £40,000, when 20 years ago they should have just had some simple treatment to remedy that and look after it.
Okay, yeah.
But dentists are not taught to have these conversations. We're not taught what to look for, how to find it, how to create ownership, accountability on the patient side. And yet, you know, the biggest business in the world right now is anti-aging. And yet, as dentists, we're not monetizing that, and we're letting people's teeth literally become little stumps, and then we're really proud of ourselves when we rehabilitate it.
Yeah.
Young dentists really resonate with this message that a full mouth reconstruction is a dentist 20 years ago not having the courage to articulate with sophistication and finesse what the challenges are and what the long-term consequences are if left unchecked.
Okay.
Because if the patients understood that, they would definitely have treatment to straighten their teeth so that the biting is more balanced.
Right, okay. So the Aligner Alchemy, the course that you're running it's not just Invisalign, it's all encompassing.
So the challenge that I have really is, it's the same that you have with your little one. If you say to him, you know, great news, today's going to be raw vegetables and green shakes, yeah? He's not going to wake up and want to come to that, right? Dentists don't want to attend courses on soft skills and personal development growth. So in the same way we used to hide the spinach in the kids' pasta, I need to find a way to hide the most important skills that a dentist needs in the stuff they want.
Right, okay.
So I get why the market might think this is an Invisalign course. It completely isn't. But dentists would not sign up for this unless they thought they were going to make lots of money out of Invisalign.
Okay, and so you feel that this course is necessary because associates aren't taught this at undergraduate level, so they come out without these skills and they need some guidance, they need some help.
Well, actually, the biggest thing is the associates are trained to be to do Victorian dentistry on the NHS. So in the context of today, where associates don't want to work on the NHS and they want to work part-time, there's a fundamental shift. So if you were to ask dentists of my generation, what's your advice for a young dentist? 10 years ago, it was work 3 or 4 years on the NHS and learn your trade. Today it's avoid the NHS at all costs.
Right, okay.
Today it's find a really good private dentist of a certain age who's passionate about mentoring, teaching and sharing knowledge, and do like a 2 or 3 year apprenticeship under them and master your craft rather than learn it.
Okay, well, on that note, Bav, you said you've gone through the Tinder years where you've gone from practice to practice and worked out the best way of working. What do associates dentists need to have in place before they start your course?
Nothing. Because there are some people on our program who are doing 5 units a year. By the end of the course, they're doing 50 units a year. Some come on who are doing 200, who get to 400. There's no prerequisite except an open mind. Because fundamentally, we're going to try and shift you. So going back to your old question, if you're a young dentist and you want to phase into digital, cosmetically driven care that is holistic and comprehensive, there are lots of courses that teach you step 8, 9, 10, 11. That means how to do the delivery of your service.
Yeah.
But there's no one out there explaining how to talk to normal people and to solve the problems that exist inside their mouth. So now the challenge is that if I'm not solving a problem inside your mouth, Seb, I'm then having to sell you cosmetics or something.
Yeah, okay.
Dentists don't like selling. So what we've done is we've created a workflow and a consultation process where when you go through a guided process, at the end of it, Seb, the question is, what did you want to buy to improve your health? And that's the conversation no one right now is having in dentistry, which is a real shame, because people of my generation are saying, we were taught that, right? Amazing speakers would teach us this wisdom and we were able to access that and implement that.
Yeah.
But in today's world, all of that is missing and everything's just about cosmetics and resin, which is a shame because the core key, the skills that you need are not there. And the way I look at it is that if you would ask some of these guys that provide the courses for resin and say to them, for every 10 people that come on the program, what percentage achieve what they wanted, they'd all say less than 10%. Because what they realize is it's not showing someone how to do something, it's how to implement, integrate and execute.
Right, okay, I'm with you. So Bhav, you're running a competition for those looking to come on your course or are interested in coming on your course. What does that involve?
I think, yeah, absolutely. So we're really passionate about helping the next generation to level up. So we have an amazing competition for our bootcamp, and all that we're doing is we're asking people to enter the competition through a application form. Your application form will be assessed, and then we'll be announcing the lucky winner.
Perfect. And when does that competition open? When does the bootcamp start?
So the boot camp will be for next year in February. So there's lots and lots of time, and the competition will be starting around the end of September, early October.
Perfect, great. And Bhavin, if you would just put into one or two lines, just one paragraph, what would delegates take away from your course? Once they've been to your course, how will it develop them as dentists when they come away?
When I look at young dentists who've been through it, the first thing that they say is confidence. Love, self-love, that means less self-sabotage, less negative self-talking, and more love for dentistry and what they're doing. And then passion, which is it feels like life is effortless and fun again because they're doing what they love, and somehow this course has integrated them. Because for most of them, they did dentistry because they had a vision of what their life could be. And for some of them, it felt like it was a bit of a nightmare as soon as they started. And now this was the dream that I signed up to, and they're just absolutely loving life.
Perfect. All right, brilliant. I mean, if that isn't the sales pitch, I don't know what is, Bhav. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to running this competition and seeing the results.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bhav.